Hi, welcome to Wandering Angel Studio. This is Carrie. I know it's been a long time. I've had some issues come up, personal issues, bereavement issues come up. But I'm back now, and I just wanted to teach you all today how to make holiday bows. Now, lots of you are making those cute little bespoke ornaments and bespoke projects, but you need a special bow to go on it. So today we're going to make one bow. We're going to make the large one, but I'm going to explain how to make the medium one and the smaller one. Now, don't fret if you don't get the measurements in the video, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in the description box for you. So you'll have the measurements right there, always and forever, and you won't have to worry about writing them down as long as you can find the video and look in the description, okay? So, real quick note first. This is one-sided paper, and so is this. So before you even ask, you can make it out of single-sided paper. What I did with this single-sided paper, this is Tim Holtz wallpaper. What I did with this is I actually glued book page to the back of it. You can do that if you want, or you can leave it blank like this. That's a real quick note. Okay, so we have 3 sizes here. Let's go ahead and get started. And again, I'm going to show you the entire process. Get these out of the way here. Okay, all right. So what I have here is I have some Tim Holtz paper. And I've already cut it because just for the sake of brevity. Okay. And I'm using my art glitter glue today. I really like this glue. It dries clear and it also dries really quickly. So if you haven't tried this glue, check it out. You can use, I would recommend using liquid glues for this as opposed to like glue dots or, you know, like a tape runner or something like that. And you'll see why as we get into the project. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the measurements, okay, for the big bow that we're going to make right now. And that's what we're going to be focused on. But again, don't forget, I'm going to put the measurements for the other 2 down in the description box. They all go together exactly the same way. The only difference is the width and the length of the paper. So for the long one, or for the big one, I should say, we're doing 6-inch strips, 6-inch long by 1-inch wide, and there's 8 of those. And then over here, we have 5 inches long by 1 inch wide. So that's 6 by 1, 5 by 1. We have 8 of these. We have 5 of the smaller ones. Now, right off the bat, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the smaller ones. I'm going to apply some glue to it. And I'm going to put it together, make a circle out of it. Now, I like to put about a 1/2 inch there, 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. It's not, and you don't need to measure it exactly. This is just, you know, as long as you've got at least a 1/2 inch there, you're going to be good. You don't want it any longer than that, pretty much. Okay, so we're going to set that aside because that's the center of our bow. Here we go. And as an aside, I did ink. This is a Tim Holtz. This is from the memoranda paper pad. I did ink the edges inside and out. So I inked the bottom side as well as the top side. It looks gorgeous that way. Just know if you do that it's going to take a while. It really takes a while. With this medium bow here, I didn't ink the edges, so entirely up to you again on how much time you want to spend putting them together. Okay, so we've made our center. Now we're going to take the big ones, and I'm going to, all of these, again, all these pieces go together exactly the same way. And I'm going to put some glue on it. Then I'm going to flip it around. Okay, so we've got a little loop there. And I'm going to bring it over here, and then I'm going to flip it over, okay? And what I generally like to do is I like to get about 1/4 inch over here. So, and I line it up with the edge. You can see that it's lined up with the edge. And see, again, this glue is already setting. That's how quick it is, okay? So I'm going to do a few more of these, and then we're going to move on to the next portion of it. But I just wanted to use this 2-sided paper for you to be able to see how the individual pieces go together. Okay, so that's one. Another thing that you need to be aware of when you're putting your bow together, when you're putting the individual pieces together, okay? Again, we're going to flip it over like this, all right? Push it down, and there's that. It's about 1/4 inch there. Don't have to measure as long as you line up the ends. See, the edges are lined up here and here. Okay, you should be fine. Now, with these pieces, if you'll notice, I'm looping over the pieces going in the same direction, okay? If you loop one over in one direction, I'll show you, and one over in another direction, see, like this, see how they're different? Oops, wait a minute. There we go. Now they're different. Okay, what's going to happen is the bow will end up a little bit wonky, and it's going to be a lot harder to line the pieces up later on. So make sure that on that first fold, whichever side you decide to put over the bottom being this piece, whichever side you decide to do it, whether you decide to do it this way or this way, that you do all of them the same way. Okay, I hope I made that clear. If not, let me know. But it's important to make sure that they're all done the same way. I've gotten in the habit of it because I've made so many of them. But, so here we go. Oops, see, I did it wrong right then. There you go. See how easy it is to do? Okay, so that they're all, again, they're all lined up going the same way. All right, let me put some more glue on this. Oops, that's actually a step coming up there that I knocked into the camera. So I'm rusty. I've been away for about 8 or 9 weeks, so I'm kind of rusty here, folks. So cut me some slack. Pretty please and thank you. Okay, so we've done 3 of those. I'm going to do one more for you. I'm going to do one of the short ones. So you'll get an idea of how we're putting these together. That's the top. This is the bottom. Okay. Or the underside, I should say. Put some glue right here. And I loop mine over right to left, I guess is the best way to say it. And again, I'll leave that little 1/4 inch there. Okay. All right. So that's how you put the individual strips together. When you're done, you should have 8 of these larger ones, and you should have 4 of these smaller ones, because remember the 5th one that you cut out that was 1 by 5 inches becomes your center. So, okay, let's move this out of the way. And now I'm going to show you, and I'm using single-sided paper for this one. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to assemble the individual pieces. Okay, so here's my big ones. Here's my small ones. Again, they go together the same way. What you want to do is you want to get 3/4 inch to 1 inch worth of space on here when you overlap them. So you want to, in other words, you want to overlap them about 3/4 inch to 1 inch. So I'm putting these together just like this, okay? And you notice there's about 1 inch there. Now, how do you know you got them lined up? Flip them over. Okay, as you can see, these 2 pieces match perfectly. That's what you want to do. You want to put them together and have them so that the pieces, it looks like one continuous loop when it's really not, okay? And that's how you put these together. So I'm going to do a couple of the big ones, and then we'll do a couple of the small ones, because I've already got the next steps laid out for you. Okay, so again, that's about 1 inch. All right, lined them up on the back, and you can see where I put this one together initially, but I've lined it up with the second one so that they're all together. I hope this is making sense. Okay, all right, so we'll do one of the small ones and then we'll move on. And again, about 3/4 inch on the smaller ones. You don't want to go quite 1 inch because then it's going to make the bow really tight. So you see how that's not lined up there? Okay, I'm going to twist it around until it is. Make sure I only have about 3/4 inch here. All right. And it's not rocket science. You don't have to measure it. Don't worry about being real precise. But And you'll get to the point, if you make enough of them like me, you'll get to the point where you can just eyeball it and it'll be okay. All right. Okay, so that's the large ones. That's the small ones. When you get done, you should have 4 of the large ones and 2 of the small ones. Okay, let's move on. And I'll show you how to put the whole bow together. This is the fun part. Okay, so, and again, I used one-sided paper for this one. So here are our 4 large strips. Here are 2 small strips, and here is the center. Don't need that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of the large strips and we're going to lay them perpendicular to each other. So at a 45-degree angle from each other, I'm putting, I probably don't need that much glue, but I'm putting the right good amount of glue on there. Okay, so, and what it does is it forms an X. Okay, real simple, real easy. But I say perpendicular because one is up and down and the other is sideways. Okay, so now when we glue the next one in, we're going to put it opposite of those two. So in between, it'll end up in between on each side. You see? Just like that. And this glue, the reason why I'm using this glue is because it sets up really fast and I'm able to do this quickly for you to keep the video running time down a little bit and at the same time be able to get the kind of glue coverage that I really like to have for these bows. Okay, then you put this one perpendicular to the other one. So again, you're creating another X, but at a different, going in a different direction. Okay, all right, now the middle ones. Okay, the middle ones are going to be facing the same direction as the first layer that you put down. So they're going to be facing, okay, cooperate with me here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so they're going to be facing these first 2 bottom ones that you first laid down. Okay, hold that for a second. This glue is just fabulous. I saw other creators using it, and I'm like, I need to try this, and I did. Okay, again, you're making that X with the smaller one. Pushing that down and holding it for a second. Now, can you put the small pieces together in an X and put the larger pieces together in an X and then nest them into each other? Yes, you can. In other words, if you wanted to put these 2 together first, and then these 2 together, well, I didn't put the third one together, and then wanted to put the smaller ones together, and then nest them, you can do it that way too. So this is just how I do it and how I've always done it. I hope that's really clear. Okay, and the piece de resistance is our center, and you want to make sure that your center is the little piece where you glued it together, that's on the bottom. So just drop that in there and hold that for a second so that it gets nice and still. Here we go. And just like that, you have a bow. Now this is single-sided paper. If we use the double-sided paper, as you can see, you know, if you don't like that clear white, you can always do what I did. This one's made out of the Tim Holtz wallpaper on the top. I put book pages on the bottom, and then I cut my strips. You can do that if you don't like this white. If you're using lighter colors like this, it looks a lot better with that white inside, but with the darker colors, it doesn't look quite as good. Let me see. Where's my little bow? I have my little bow over here, but with the smaller ones, it's not quite, it's with the smaller ones, it's more noticeable. So in this one here is 2-sided. Again, this is from the memoranda paper pad. So that's how you make the bows. Very simple, very easy. You can line them up and assembly line them and have a bunch of them made all at once. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing some makeovers with dollar store stuff using a lot of Tim Holtz ephemera, his ideology, and his paper. That's coming. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for those of you who have already done that. I appreciate you more than you know. Make your bows, put them on your presents, and have a great day. Thank you.